This is going to be a part 2 of the video that was uploaded on yesterday called No Interest in the Cure. Please share that video and the documentary that it's based on. We all know someone that has been affected by cancer and has not been made aware of all the cancer treatments. In this particular video, I'm going to share how the hiding and the concealing of this life-saving cancer treatment has affected me. Stay tuned. I have a lot to say. My first experience with tumors was in my tender 20s. I had prior no medical history, had no relationships with any doctors, no routine checkups, and I developed the first tumor, and it suppressed nerves or did nerve damage over here where my vocal cords were not closed, and so because one of them was damaged, it was not closing, and I would choke on water, and I had lost the ability to speak because when the vocal cords close, that's how sounds come out or formed in the throat. Thinking back to the documentary, during this time, I was thinking about when I was watching it, what I was doing and what my life looked like. And by 2003 in the documentary, the war or the attack against the man that came up with the cure for cancer was in full swing. Everyone in the medical community knew about him, knew about the therapy, although it was still considered experimental. Um, at that time is when I had started out with a ear, nose, and throat doctor, and I was misdiagnosed. I had to go to 2 appointments, let's just put it that way, because he prescribed me antibiotics and thought it was an ear infection. And then after I came back and said, hey, I still can't talk, I whispered I can't talk, he then referred me to a surgeon. So this is the thing that gets me. I had a non-cancerous tumor here it was growing but not growing in such a rate that I could not have looked into other options. But because I went to a surgeon, he wanted to operate because apparently where this tumor was located was going to be a notch on his belt. It was going to be it was going to be a feat for him to successfully remove this tumor. At this time, I know he knew about this experimental, because they refused to, I believe they still haven't approved it, therapy, and he didn't tell me about it. He pushed his surgery, and knowing that I did not have a life-threatening tumor, that I could have done this experimental therapy, and it wouldn't have been either way. What you will find in the documentary is that the cure for cancer is not toxic. It does not tax, it does not harm the body because he's working with the body. That's the first thing. This surgeon decided to do this surgery on me, knowing that I did not have a life-threatening tumor, and knowing that his surgery was going to damage me extensively. Is ignorant to think that someone like myself that has no history, no medical history, no history with doctors, would be able to sit through a visit of the magnitude that I sat through and be able to completely understand the scope of what I was saying yes to. And I had no idea about what I was saying yes to. He wasn't a rude man, but like I count bedside manner as being a doctor that is able to fully prepare me for the procedures that I'm going to be mentally discussed with me, the procedures that I'm going to be having. He didn't do that. A lot of times, I did extensive testing, extensive radiation on my body and things like that, doing these x-rays, and he did not prepare me fully for even those. My attitude at that time was, let's get it done, let's get on with life. This thing is, you couldn't see it or anything, so I'm just like, let's get it out, what's the big deal? Long or the short, I did a 2-day surgery, 8 hours, that's a full work day. My mom said that I died on the table. He did not prepare me. I had no idea that I should have taken a picture so that you all would be with me. My complexion was that of a dead person in a coffin. Do you know how, like, that ashy complexion? My face was swollen. I had nerve damage or a stroke on part of my side of my face. My face had swollen so bad that my skin started to tear. I remember when I came to, and it was like days later because they had me in ICU, but after the surgery, I was terrified. I thought that, I thought that something went wrong and I was going to be like, I look like Emmett Till. That's the best way that I can explain it. And to about that and think about how that could have been avoided, it's nothing but the grace of God that I'm just like, everything happens for a reason. So I went in with the tumor and a suppressed nerve in my vocal cord. Properly tended to, I could have gotten therapy to get my vocal cord back working. When I left when everything was said and done, I had patches of hair. All the back of my hair had fallen out from the radiation, the experimentation that they did on me. So I was bald on the back of my head. I had to get subsequent procedures to get my face correct, to get my face fixed. Not only could I not talk, but I could not swallow anything, as well as I had 2 subsequent surgeries to get implants put in. So needless to say, I who wouldn't feel a certain kind of way knowing that someone did something unnecessary and caused me undue stress and harm. So I want to take a step back, keeping in line and keeping this connected with the documentary. Please check it out. It's probably going to hit home more to me because I have physically lived and seen and experienced the attitudes of conventional medicine and the way that they treat people and patients that are unfortunate enough to have to rely on or be suggested to their care. This Darwinism, like if you have developed a medical problem, you're no longer the fittest. So therefore you're available for experimentation. They will do things to you, and pretty much it seems like you're damaged and you're going to be terminated soon, or sooner than the rest of the more fitted. So let's get as much information as we can out of this body or this corpse as we can. Back in 2003 and 2006, I had had 2 procedures to put implants in my throat. During one of them, I remember I woke up during the anesthesia, and it was in the middle of the procedure, and I could not feel it, thank God, but I could feel the tugging on my skin, but I could not feel the incision or anything like that, so there was no pain, but I could hear and I could see. So I agreed to one doctor doing the procedure, and this doctor was a doctor that was very experienced. This was like he could do it in his sleep. And so I agreed. I went to sleep thinking that he was the one going to be working on me. I woke up during the procedure and I found the doctor that had done the surgery that damaged me was actually the one doing the procedure. And that doctor did not know what he was doing. And the doctor that I had agreed to do the procedure was guiding him on how to stitch me up. And I listened to this for about a minute or so before they realized that I was awake, and then they quickly put me back under anesthesia. So I know that there is a sociopathic tendency with them that they have to, I think, to even be a doctor and see all that blood and guts to kind of be desensitized to the fact that you are a human being, and they're able to remove the humanity out of it. And this is an example. So here I am at MD Anderson. I lived in one state. MD Anderson is in the state of Texas. Let me just say, my mom advocated for me. I did nothing. I didn't even know how I was going to get there. I was just like, whatever. My mom took that ball and she ran with it. She contacted agencies. She engaged her associates. She got family and friends. She got donations. She booked airfare all on her own to get me to MD Anderson. There was a tremendous amount of resources to get me from one state to another to receive this proton therapy. So talking about MD Anderson, that was an experience. MD Anderson it's not just a hospital. It is a whole community. MD Anderson has a whole town dedicated to it. It like sits in the middle, and all of the Restaurants, the stores, the hotels cater to MD Anderson. It is a massive network of businesses that work to support the patients that go to MD Anderson. In the actual facility, it was like the state-of-the-art health club, medical health club. They had young and fit technicians working on you. They had gospel music sweetly going through the sound waves. There definitely was an energy there. If there was healing to be had, you felt like you could get it there. There was an energy of just moving forward, staying positive. Nevertheless, it's like something in me saw through it. By the end of the therapy, I found my own way home. They were like, we need you to stay. Well, can you just stay another week? So MD Anderson's bedside manner was on point. They did prepare you for everything. Everything was regimented. You had literally like a booklet, a schedule that you followed. Very organized, very much so together. I did all the preliminary testing, and one of the things that I had to do was to get a mold created. And you would get a mold of whatever part of your body was going to be treated with the radiation, and mine was my head. Nevertheless, it felt like something that I was definitely going to be able to do. No big deal. Get rid of this tumor. Let's get it done. And so the day of the procedure is when problems started. I laid there like 15-minute procedure, and something just broke on the inside of me. I developed anxiety that just grew and developed into a depression. I did not know how to listen to my body. I did not know that that was a sign that my body was giving me that if there was something wrong, I was damaging it. I was stop. My body was screaming stop, and I would cry at the drop of a dime. Totally mentally broken because I was laying there for 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 3 months. I was prescribed medication that stopped working. My body would not be silenced. The medication is designed to silence your body, to tell your body, shut up, you don't know what you're doing. And my body would not be silenced. After everything was said and done, that is when I developed full-blown cancer. Just 6 short months after I left the therapy, it metastasized from my ear to my lungs to my kidneys. You can only imagine how I felt watching that documentary. Please check it out and seeing MD Anderson on the screen smugly sticking their nose up to this therapy that's non-toxic and non-damaging to the body, that works with the body. By this time in 2010, MD Anderson that is the pulse of the medical world in the United States of America. And MD Anderson is a hospital that people fly all over the world to be treated at. They knew about Burzynski right down the highway, you all. They knew about the therapy. They knew that it wasn't damaging. They knew that the tumor that I had was not cancer, and that this was an option. And they're on the video talking about it doesn't work. By that time, all the hearings had happened. They weren't able to indict. They weren't able to take his medical license. They had seized his records. They knew that this therapy worked, and they were satisfied with siding with the protocol, with their church music playing across the radio waves. Everything happens for a reason. I just want to let everyone know that I am not bitter, I'm not sad, and I'm not remorseful for my life experiences. I believe that those very things that I suffered and that I endured and that I experienced made me this person bold to share information, wanting everyone to get their knowledge, providing videos that give people a jump off point to do their own investigation, find out what they see and what they feel about these different remedies for things that they're saying are uncured or that we have no control over. So without me having these experiences, I would not be doing these videos. I've already admitted in plenty of other videos that I was very arrogant, that the way that I treated myself with the foods that I ate, not eating right or not eating fruits and vegetables, thinking that, that there would be no consequence, or thinking that I knew what the consequence would be. And it's just very odd for me to even be talking about the things that I'm talking about in these videos. But I've just been testing the water to see how people would react. And when I tell my family and friends, just as some initial people, that there is a cure for cancer, they say, oh, we know, we see you. No, share the video. And it is a pharmaceutical remedy for cancer. So it's not like a Patrick Dale's or Holder Clark or Garrison therapy or even a Dr. Sabi. This is a pharmaceutical grade cure for cancer. I don't know all about the therapy, but ironically, before I decided to do this second video, I went ahead and I called the clinic. You all, the clinic is still in existence today. The cure for cancer is still an option. So please share this video. Please share the other videos so that we can all be. That's all that I wanted to say. Until next time, thanks for watching.